What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Hosley, the gangsta of love. Don't eat no fried chicken.
That's not fair, Tyler. Hi guys, I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film family in England, and it's okay for Tyler to use some wording from his horror movie choices and just have fun. If I did that, I would be, paraphrasing someone discussing a rapey ghost, so it doesn't have the same ring to it. I guess that's on me for picking the entity. Thanks, T.
You're welcome.
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned, you know what? My parents fucking lied to me when they said, "Oh, getting an all-leather suit would look terrible, Dave," because it looked fucking great on Snoop Dogg. Close,
Oh, yeah.
close. I might be like two Snoop Dogs and glow in the dark, but close enough. I'd look fucking great in it. Fuck you, Mom. And this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay.
To be honest, this week I did not watch much. I had a lot of other stuff going on that kind of kept me away from screens. I didn't even hit up any streaming or gaming this week. It's been very, very busy. I did though begin the third season of Alice in Borderland, which I have straight up said I love the first two seasons, but the third just does not work for me. It's just, I don't know why they did it. It's a serious downgrade in overall quality. The cast is still good and doing their best, but it's not well written. The games, there's reasons why they skipped some games in the original series, the original two seasons, because it just don't work, and they don't work now. So, it's not terrible. Like, if you need something to watch, it's a distraction, but it's just not as good. Still better than Squid Game, though, so I guess there's that.
I didn't watch loads, but I managed to fit some more stuff in. I've basically once again kindly been asked to guest on another podcast. I feel like I'm a backup option now though, because Tyler's been there. And Jose was like, "Woo, we've got Tyler now." But I'm going to be joining Jose and Mike to discuss one battle after another this weekend. So I'll probably be recording that when our episode drops on Sunday.
To be fair, at least they asked you. They've never even asked me. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck, guys?
It's nothing to do with my repeated warnings that I've given them. But it's one battle after another time. We'll be discussing at the end. So I don't want to say too much here. I am pretty much a Paul Thomas Anderson fanboy. But interestingly, I had a couple of blind spots that I wanted to then try and fill in before recording on Sunday. So I finally watched Hard 8, which I really enjoyed. Like, really. It's it's close enough to Anderson coming out quite fully formed, obviously just before Boogie Nights and Magnolia. Very much in the same style. There are some same cast members used. I really liked that. And then I finally watched The Master, and The Master, it has some gorgeous shots, which might save it from being a Kevin 7, but might not. I think Joaquin Phoenix feels quite miscast in The Master. And that is what kind of just upset the balance for me. Have you two both seen that one?
Yeah, but it's been a bit.
I have, but it's also been a while. I saw it theatrically when it came out, but that's the last time I saw it.
Yeah, I know you'll have seen it, T, just to fuel your nighttime fantasies of Amy Adams giving you a handy by a sink. So that's all
those
that you
are
would remember for years.
my fantasies.
All right, okay, sorry. Both of you, I got you mixed up. Yeah, it's like it has a level of quality to it that I think feels undeniable, and as I say, some gorgeous shots, great supporting cast in general. Hoffman is amazing in it, as he so often was and everything he did. I think it's a fantastic role for him. I couldn't shake the feeling that I don't know whether I wanted someone who could play things more calmly in between the moments of kind of explosive outbursts, or someone who would feel more edgy and ready to go further with their explosive outbursts. I don't know what would have been more effective, but Phoenix just bounces around that kind of character line in a way that never fully settled for me. So I'm glad I marked those two off though, and I'm not saying The Master is a bad film. It's still a good film. It doesn't change my ranking. For me, the worst PTA is still Licorice Pizza. I know a lot of other people love that one, but that just didn't work for me. And that was it, apart from some TV. And we're not a TV podcast, so fuck TV. It's not getting mentioned.
Oh, sorry. Thought it was Dave. I forgot Dave went first. My bad. It's only one for me. I had a really light week besides TV, but Kevin said fuck TV, so we can't mention TV.
Fuck
I mean,
TV.
I could, but it's
If you want
I mean,
to
I
show
mentioned
weakness
TV.
and mention TV, then you do that.
I mean, no, I was gonna mention Alien, but yeah, I think Alien Earth is great. I finished it; it's really good. People are mixed on what they did with the xenomorphs, but that's just how it goes when it comes to changing characters everyone likes. So it's just how it happens. But yeah, I love the Alien Earth, good stuff. But besides that, I went to the theater and I saw him. I really love this movie a lot, and I seem to be the only person on earth who does, but I loved it. It's just a chaotic, hyper edited 90-minute sensory assault of a music video. That's what this is. It's bloody, it's weird, totally unsubtle with its messaging. Style over substance, yes, yes, it is. And I mean that as a total compliment because I've always been more of a visual guy over story when it comes to movies. Most of the time, I can just have pretty visuals shoved in my face and I'm happy. Give me a fucking 2-hour music video and I'm fine. But yeah, this was my fucking jam. I really liked this a lot. And Marlon Wayans fucking rocked it. He was so good in this. I love Marlon Wayans. Like, he did a post recently where like all his movies are like critically bashed, and it made me feel bad because I love Marlon Wayans. I like the Wayans brothers. I like the whole Wayans family. I think they're great. And I don't know. I like their comedies, but man, he's good in this. He should do more drama because he's really good. But yeah, him was awesome. I don't know if I can recommend it to most people on Earth because everyone seems to hate it, but I loved it, and that's me.
This week, we decided to embrace the chill of October a little early with the 2001 supernatural urban horror film Bones, the 1982 supernatural horror film The Entity, and the 2022 Japanese horror film Best Wishes to All. Hey, Kevin,
Yes,
ask Tyler to pick a movie and tell us about it.
go for it, T.
I am going to go with Kevin's pick, The Entity, which is about a single mother who's repeatedly raped and tormented by an invisible poltergeist-like force. On paper, a rapist ghost sounds goofy as fuck. Like, this could have easily went straight into goofy camp territory. Kind of like Scary Movie 2 with fucking, what's her name? Tori Spelling on the wall. But, just, that wasn't rape, but, I'm not going to get into ghost rape. But, but not once does this ever go into, like, camp territory. I mean, the sexual assaults portrayed in this movie are honestly depicted horrifically, as it should. And the fact that nobody believes this poor woman throughout the entire fucking movie makes it even bleaker. I mean, some of those attack scenes are just absolutely gut-wrenching to watch. The score is fantastic too. I mean, that is a wallop of a fucking score. I love the music used in this. Barbara Hershey is great as a lead. She's really good in this. She really sells this role really well. Sidney J. Furie also like directs the fuck out of this movie too. It's crazy how he went on to like make Iron Eagle and Superman 4 after this, because who would have thought the director of The Entity could make Superman 4 The Quest for Peace? But, you know, he did. Dude was like a total journeyman filmmaker, but I think he could have had a wonderful place in the horror genre if he stuck with the genre. But yeah, this film for me is easily one of the best paranormal horror movies out there. I mean, I'm super picky when it comes to ghosts and hauntings and those kind of movies. I like the subgenre, don't get me wrong. It just, I think it's run a little stale now. The Conjuring universe shit kind of hurt my love for it a bit, but there's a lot of great paranormal films out there, and this is one of them. And the original Amityville for me is still top tier. That is a top tier film for me. I love the original Amityville and its sequel so much, The Possession. But this is like a really, really close second. It's just a really good mix of supernatural horror and drama. But yeah, The Entity is fucking great. Really good film.
I like it less than T. I don't dislike the entity. I agree with him on a few things. Hershey is excellent. It is well made by Sidney J. Furie, who, yeah, dude had a weird, a weird career. Because, like, I think he started out doing Canadian TV movies, and he did Lady Sings the Blues in the 72, I think. Uh, Galen Lombard, like a bunch of these biopics, and then he just kind of crawled his way up until he created Iron Eagle, which that's cool. I love folks that have weird careers like that. Um, he doesn't have my favorite weird career, but he did do the Jazz Singer remake in 1980 with Neil Diamond. Nobody needed that, but there he was doing it. It's well done. Uh, yeah, he's an overlooked journeyman that's really good. Hershey is excellent, but Barbara Hershey was almost always excellent. I guess is always excellent. I assume she's still working, even though she's like 70 something now. I can't remember the last time I've seen her or anything, so I could be wrong. The problem is the rest of the cast is a bit more of a hit and miss. There's a lot of heavy lifting that needs to be done by David LaBoisia, who plays the son Billy, and he's just he would go on to be a fairly solid character actor on TV. Probably best known, he showed up in Seinfeld. He's the busboy, who George and Elaine criticize and light the menu on fire. Yeah. Best known for that probably, but has generally been a fairly steady working TV actor through the 80s and into the 2000s. But he's not good in this. Now, granted, he needs to convey a lot of complex emotions and feelings, and they don't give him the dialogue for it, so he just kind of stares at Barbara Hershey accusatorily. Ron Silver, I don't think is so great as psychiatrist Dr. Phil Sneiderman. Um, Silver was another one of those actors that did like a ton of stuff. Like a ton of stuff over the years. He's I mean, I guess he's fine, but his his position is a rough one, and I think this is the problem with the character is that he is supposed to represent the logical world denying the experience, but the first hour and 10 minutes, it is literally him gaslighting her and her being raped by a ghost. It's a tough watch. And that's kind of my problem. I feel like the first hour they needed to be more less in your face with it. It needed to be a more is it, isn't it kind of thing instead of vicious assault. Oh, you just need psychiatric help. Vicious assault. It's not real. Vicious assault. It just I feel that it more undercuts it than anything else, because after a while this is where I'm going to disagree with T the most. I do feel that the first hour is highly camp, because it's hard to make those kinds of scenes work, and the way they go about it is just, it's goofy. Even for the time period, it's kind of goofy. Now, maybe if they went a bit more into her going head to head with the different men, including the entity, who do constantly undermine her credibility and sanity. She's constantly objectified and exploited, but they never really give her anything more than being a glorified lab rat for all these men. At the end of the day, the character of Carla Moran is not a compelling character, and I hate saying that given what they put her through, but she is very much just an abuse doll all the way till the end. And that's a bit of a problem for me, because then it goes from extremes. It goes from all these men using and belittling her credibility and her sanity, objectifying her, which is all the boyfriend and her friend's husband do. Then they exploit her as a test subject, and that is all it is. But they're smug about it, those that go to quote unquote help, when they're really not helping in a way that's reasonable or rational. The whole film feels like it skips a lot of steps to get where it goes, just to fit the runtime, and so they can cram in some more of the sexual assaults. I really like parts of the entity. The ghost attack scenes are very visceral. I just feel that overall, I don't think it sticks the landing, and it certainly does not. And it feels like it wants to have this character step into her own power, and it kind of fails to do that. And then the whole title card at the end makes it even worse. Quick note: this is actually based on, and I'm air quoting around the word "true." This is based on a claim by a woman named Doris Bither, who did go to the University of California. She did claim that she was once sexually assaulted by a ghost. They never found any evidence for anything supernatural at all. It's an interesting story, but I just feel like it doesn't come together on the end. And then to keep her in a state of victimhood, it's I don't know, the whole thing just feels a little too exploitative for what they seem to be going for throughout. That's just my view.
Oh, was that you done, Dave?
Yeah, that's me. I'm not really sure what else to
Okay.
say about it, because that's like all what my notes are, or how they treat her versus how they seem to talk about her, and there's always a disconnect, even right down to the end for me.
Well, I've actually, I apologise if this will seem self-indulgent, but I've probably got more to say about this than the other films this week, because I picked it for a very good reason. It was a film that, like, you know, no pun intended, haunted me for years. And it was one of those films, like, it reminds me of VHS nights when, like, I feel like looking back, I realise how people didn't, like, really consider what was there with VHS tapes. I know that's part of the, you know, moral panic and all the video nasty list and stuff here in the UK, but it's true to a degree about what would come out. Like, this is one of the films I was just allowed to watch as a very young kid, and this came out in 1982. Now, I was born at the end of 75, so I'm probably about 10 years old when I'm first watching this. And that was alongside films like the original Amityville Horror and I can't remember when Poltergeist was out, but there were there were just there were still things that were like, it's almost like they got a pass because they were based on a true story. And my mum, I don't think she was always the best judge of like what was necessarily appropriate or what was completely true, because we watched stuff like this, and then she also like there were weepies that were on uh video, like what was it? Not My Children or something was one of them. I'm sure there was one called. There might be another one just called Mandy. I remember some odd little weepy movie with Don Johnson in there as some like abusive, I think, pop singer who was with this woman. That was The Burning Bed. Was that Farrah Fawcett? Like all of these titles jumbled around, and if it seemed to be based on a true story or had some merit, then yeah, like my mum's just sticking the video on, and we're watching this evening, and I watched The Entity with in my mind, it's a completely true story, and it was terrifying, and for me at that age, quite it seemed quite full on. I think it still is in a way, because it comes close to the sort of not, I wouldn't say it gets too exploitative in how it's shown, but it's certainly not shying away from the fact that these are sexual assaults, and it's a woman who is naked and vulnerable in her home for many of the big moments. So it has that. I watch it now, and there are two different opinions battling in my head. There's the movie, and I appreciate the movie, and I agree with what both Tyler and you, Dave, said about like how the main characters dealt with, um, and how other people are getting in there and sort of having their own approaches and considering her less than they consider just their like rigid methodology for their field of work. And then knowing a bit about the truth it was based on, seems like a woman who was, perhaps in the throes of or had suffered from uh, other abuse issues, and that includes maybe drug and alcohol abuse, and there were factors in her life that meant it was troubled. But that doesn't mean, if this happened to someone because of their mental state rather than the real version we see in this film, it doesn't mean it feels any less real to them. So that's a really disturbing, horrible thing. And it's only as I've gotten older that I've remembered to have that empathy for people who might be seeing or feeling or experiencing things that aren't there. Whether it's a mental health issue on its own, or whether it's to do with other factors or drug or drinks. It's something that will affect them the same nonetheless. So yeah, it's a real, like, we're wading into murky waters here. I find it holds up quite well. I think I don't have Tyler's love for the director, but he does a decent enough job with it. But this film is saved by Hershey giving, quite a fantastic and strong performance. It's really good. I'd imagine it was probably quite a tricky one to just get right and maybe not feel ridiculous while filming it. Like, this is a truer version of that one scene of the Hollow Man being pervy in that film. That's what this is. And in any other timeline, Ron Silver is the rapey ghost because Ron Silver was the bad guy he'd look out for in so many other movies of this era. But yeah, I think it remains a worthwhile film and an interesting one. But I think it encourages you to empathize with, you know, someone who, if you look beyond the movie sheen isn't the right word, but the just the movie version of events, even thinking of the reality, if it stems from something that wasn't necessarily there, it's still there for them. And that, like, that really made me feel for her more this time, arguably um, than any other time when I watched this when I was younger. Because when I was younger, I was just being afraid of everything on screen and taking it literally anyway. So it was that. But before I forget, I appreciate Tyler starting off with his not about the music, because god damn, the music goes hard in this.
Yes.
I did not expect that for the start. I don't remember any of the score. It was like the first minute and a half or so you get just
Oh yeah,
chunking rhythms. I was like, what?
it is.
Um,
It is it's as aggressive as the ghost is.
yeah, it really is. And yeah, the like I had a vague memory of the ending as well, but not, you know, there's kind of I can't remember if it's the very last line of dialogue or one line of dialogue, but I had to rewind it a couple of times. I was like, excuse me? Did I just say what I think it said? Because in my mind, there was just like, I think the movement of a door. And I was going to say maybe I'd seen some slightly censored version, but I doubt I had because we're just watching it on video at home, so it would have been there. It's just, I maybe didn't even figure out what that word was when I watched it at a young age to be like blissfully unaware. So yeah, I hope I've explained myself enough. Uh, this was a really good one for me to revisit. I did buy the Blu-ray and I was keen to do so. So I'm happy that you didn't hate it. But it was a really it was a really interesting one for me to rewatch as an adult at long last.
Fun fact, two real quick. Uh,
Yeah.
Poltergeist also came out in '82, so
All right.
doesn't matter if you were young or old. You were going to go see somebody running around with a ghost in
Yeah.
1982, and the actual parapsychologist attached to the case was Thelma Moss. Now, Thelma Moss, before becoming a parapsychologist, was an actress and screenwriter, best known for writing a couple Alec Guinness films, including his Father Brown mystery.
Mm, which I've not seen, but I would imagine you're a fan. 'Cause that's
I've
kind of
seen it's it's okay. It's okay.
it's in line with the you sometimes like a bit of cozy mysteryness, Dave, I would say. And mysteryness is a word that I'm
Yes.
using in this context.
I don't generally care for Father Brown, but like I hate the book series. But you know, I
And
like Alec Guinness, so
I just, in fact, one last thing I would say is, yeah, I think more people should just generally remember how good Barbara Hershey is as an actress. I think the last thing she did, I did check her filmography, and it was she was in Strange Darling in a small role. If you've seen that and remember her in
oh,
it,
I've
I
seen that.
think
I don't remember her in it.
she was one of the couple at the house in the Midley Woods with, oh god, I forgot his name. Is it Begley? Was Nick Begley in
Oh,
that as well?
yeah.
Unless I'm getting confused, but she's been, you know, she has a bountiful filmography, quite a bit of TV mixed in there as well, but stuff. but I just don't think enough people, randomly go up to strangers and say, "Remember how good Barbara Hershey is," and they should. They should go up to strangers and they should say that.
I mean, I don't disagree.
I am going to dive right into the dark world of urban horror that Tyler gave us with Bones. So there are various younger cast members in this, but the main thing to know is that Snoop Dogg plays a guy called Jimmy Bones, who was no, I'm going to get mixed up already. I keep going to say like a pimp and a drug dealer, but he might just be a drug dealer. He might just be a smooth criminal.
He was a numbers runner.
Right.
He ran numbers. Yeah, he didn't allow drugs in his town, and that's why.
That's right. That was the confrontation. Yes, my bad. And Pam Grier is in this as a woman named Pearl, and she had a connection with Jimmy Bones. And anyway, things happen, and it looks like Bones is back. He is a spirit who may be out for revenge. I'd seen this before. I've probably seen it before more than once, and I enjoy it. But bizarrely, I hadn't seen it since I started doing my ratings and rankings on like Letterboxd and stuff. So this was a good chance to triple check how I think about it. And Tyler, I still quite like Bones. I don't think it's I don't think it's a kind of underrated masterpiece. It's not a well. I think some might view it as a hidden gem. I think we all agree that Ernest Dickerson is a hidden gem. That he never seems to get enough love, but Bones is it's good with the horror movie tropes. It has some great visual moments, like some really, really great visual moments. I'm not just talking the absolutely headache-inducing hyper editing stuff that Tyler would like in films like him. I'm talking stuff that looks gloopy and macabre and like impressively creative in a horror movie that is, not no to very low budget, but certainly not going to be like really high budget. It works well. The problem with it is, I think the biggest problem is the pacing, and that's strange to say because it gets the start and the end right. There's just a little bit too much time taken in the middle with I believe they think they're setting, people in place and letting you know the characters more. I do get that. They are sort of moving the story through it and having a proper story through it. But it really needed some more just either main sequences or main, like, four gags, for want of a better phrase, to help punctuate that middle section instead of so much of it being, a drip fed backstory that is all then culminating in the third act. I really like it. I think Snoop Dogg has a good presence for this kind of thing. Like he's just he works on screen in the right role. Like he was also in was he in Hood of Horror? I think
He is.
He's some host in some anthology, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like the tail. He's like the crypt keeper for that anthology.
Yes, and he works. Like, while I don't absolutely love this, I like it, and I wouldn't have been, disappointed if this had had a little run of being a slasher movie series. If there'd been maybe just a couple of sequels that they've got the backstory out of the way. Now it's time to have more fun, and let's either have Bones there or figure out a way to bring him back. However, the ending of this goes, because I'm trying to not spoil the ending of this. And you could just, you could do that easily, because Snoop Dogg has the presence. He's certainly got the look. He's got that all leather outfit that Dave enjoyed, and he works well for it. It's just good stuff. It's maybe not the best from like some of the main players, especially Dickerson. Dickerson's done other better movies, but it's fun, and it's a good pick for this time of year.
I really like Bones. I hadn't seen it, and it'd been a while since I'd seen it. So thank you for kicking me, because it's been on my list to rewatch for an October challenge, but I just kind of put it off. I'm also a big fan of Ernest Dickerson's work. I think he is absolutely fantastic. Even when he was a cinematographer for a lot of the early Spike Lee stuff, I think he shoots all of his stuff from She's Gotta Have It up to Malcolm X.
Yep.
Yeah, is that right? I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
double check. All right, nice. He's done a lot of TV work lately too, which is a bit of a waste of a really talented director, but he's excellent. Did a lot of stuff on The Wire. I'm a big fan of his work. Snoop Dogg is excellent in this. He gives a performance that makes you buy the setup for the character of Jimmy Bones, because like generally this would be like somebody else would play this and you'd be like, really, this guy? Folks were like back in this numbers runner who's kind of but no, he does awesome. He does a great fucking job with it. Michael T. Weiss is in a little bit. If you remember Michael T. Weiss, he was the Pretender on TV around this time. He is the evil detective, and he has a pretty decent. And I usually hate fat suits in movies, but his is pretty good. To age him up, it's a decent one. Clifton Powell is Jaybird. He's solid. Ricky Harris is hilarious as Eddie Mack. I do adore Pam Grier. Who doesn't fucking adore Pam Grier? Catherine Isabel is always a welcome presence in anything ever, especially if it's a horror movie. Bianca Lawson is Cynthia, who is Pam Grier's character's daughter. She's always a solid presence, and she's really good here. I do feel our lead guy, Ricky Harris. No, not Ricky Harris. I already said Ricky Harris. Our lead guy, Kahil Khan, is a little. He just is not very good. Neither is Merwin Monsieur, who plays his brother. They're not terrible. They're just weak additions, and the screenplay is a little weak. So it very much is reliant on the actors carrying it. Linda Boyd is wasted. She has like 2 scenes and like a line and a half. It is always funny when you see someone who's only like 10 years older than someone else playing their mother. That's one of the situations here. Kind of funny. I like it. There's some really good audio effects. There's some visual effects. I'm sorry, somebody's trying to call me. Nobody ever calls me. The ringing in my ears threw me off. There's some really good visual effects. I really like the wall of souls that pops up a couple times. I enjoy the final act, but it does. Kevin's right. It drags in the middle, and it just really, really stops it from coming together and being a low tier classic. It's enjoyable. It's definitely one that you should watch for fun little fright flick in October, but it's not a classic. It's not as good as the sum of its parts, which I think is a shame because it's so close. Just a little bit of editing, a little tightening up, maybe another pass at the screenplay, and this could have been an absolute gem. And instead, it's a mostly overlooked cult film. It's campy and fun, and it's totally worth your time.
Again, Bones is like one of those go-to horror movies for me. I love it. It mixes two things that I love together so well, horror and hip hop, and also feels like a total love letter to all things blaxploitation. And it does it so well. I love that urban gothic style it has. That bright 1970s red paint blood they used. It looks fantastic visually. That house looks amazing. The blood bed dream sequence with Bianca Lawson is amazing. The melting wall of souls, I love that visual. I mean, those some of those practical effects are just fucking gorgeous. But Ernest Dickerson is a fucking talent. I mean, dude shot so many great films, so many early Spike Lee joints too. I mean, as Dave said, he also directed Juice, which is a bona fide masterpiece. I fucking love Juice. Demon Knight is great. And I know you guys weren't a fan of this movie, but I love Never Die Alone with DMX. I really like that movie a lot. Um, I love how wacky it gets during its final act, and you get dogs puking maggots and just maggots falling from the ceiling onto people's pizza slices. It's great. But Snoop Dogg is fucking amazing as Jimmy Bones, though. I mean, you can tell he just loved playing this role so much, and he just revels in it. I love Snoop in this. Rest of the cast I like. I like all the young leads, and it's always great seeing Pam Grier and Clifton Powell. And once again, agree with Dave. Seeing Catherine Isabel pop up is always a good thing. Love Catherine Isabel. The soundtrack is fucking awesome. You get some D12 in there, some Cypress Hill, Corrupt, and Exhibit, a little Snoop because you have to have at least one Snoop track in this. But yeah, I think this movie is a fucking blast. It's a horror movie, but it's also a hybrid of crime and blaxploitation. And yeah, I watch it every October. It just has the perfect atmosphere for the spooky season. I would 100% call this a hidden gem. But yeah, I really love this movie, and Ernest Dickerson is fucking awesome. So yeah, big fan of Bones.
I did put this on my list to show the niece. I think she'd
Nice.
enjoy it. Yeah, so maybe I like it more than I seem to have let on.
Going with Dave's pick, obviously, Best Wishes to All is about a college student who visits her grandparents in the countryside and begins to feel a sense of discomfort as she discovers dark secrets. This one is actually fairly hard to talk about without spoiling. And I don't want to spoil it because it is somewhat newish and people should totally check this out because it's really good. Um, it has such an unsettling, dark, anxiety ridden atmosphere from the fucking jump, while still having these weird tonal shifts of absurd humor like peppered throughout, which I loved. That shouldn't work, but it does, and I love it. It's well crafted, well shot, and the movie just goes to show how far some people will go in the search of that literal pursuit of happiness, strangely enough, I was getting like some happiness kind of vibes from this movie. The Todd Solondz film. But I don't know why. I just got like vibes of that movie. I could be the only one, but I really did. Uh, I love how nothing is really 100% like spelled out for you. The filmmaker never once tries to hold your hand through any of it, which I really like. I really like the lead actress a lot. She doesn't have a character name. Nobody does in this, but I think it works, and she works well in this as well as the film. But yeah, it's really good. It's just really hard to talk about without spoiling. I don't want to spoil anything because it is fairly, like I said, it's fairly new. But yeah, I really like this one a lot, Dave. Probably one of the better Shutter movies I've seen in. This was a Shutter movie, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, it wasn't made for Shutter, but Shutter is distributing it in, I believe, both the U.S. and UK.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I saw the Shutter logo and I'm like, damn, this is definitely one of the better Shutter movies I've seen in years. So yeah, this was good, Dave. I really enjoyed it.
I agree with Tyler on this one. I'd already seen this one before, and was really I was going to say pleasantly surprised by it, but I think I'd already heard some good buzz about it. It is really good, and because it is still quite new, will try also to not give too much away. It is it Kuton Furukawa who's the lead? Is that right?
Uh,
I think I had to
I
dive deep to make sure
think
who was right. I think she's
yes,
the young woman,
because
and
she's the young woman.
the
Uh,
grandparents are Masashi Arafuki and
yes,
Yoshiko Inuyama.
yes, those are the only three that I am aware of, and who the producer was. But besides that,
Uh,
yeah, I'm not sure who else is who.
it's only because I as I say, I had to dig around when I was doing the my review for my blog. So it's like Furukawa is great in the lead role. Arafuku and Inuyama are really good as well as the grandparents. I think I don't think we're spoiling anything really if we said to people, if you don't mind subtitles and you liked some of the vibe of the first half of the visit, this is it's a similar initial setup. Someone goes to visit their grandparents. Some things are happening that are a bit odd. So I think we can, give people those breadcrumbs without spoiling anything. But it's a very impressively unnerving film that doesn't necessarily keep everything in the dark as well. That's what's pleasantly unusual about it. I would also say this would feel like a decent companion piece to the films that were directed by the person whose name I can't remember, and they did When Evil Lurks and Terrified. I want to say Damien Rugda because we're very professional here. Um,
Damian Rugina, yes.
I was close enough. Hey, for
Yeah, but
some
then
of our name pronunciations.
they speak Spanish, so I probably fucked that up. But yeah,
But yeah, I think this has moments that would that would work if you're watching this film, as I say, and as a companion piece, particularly to I think When Evil Lurks. But it's a first film from Yuta Shimotsu directorially, and they also wrote the screenplay with Rumi Kikuta. I was looking up Shimotsu's filmography, and their next film sounds fantastic. Have you looked it up, Dave?
I have.
Yeah, because I liked this one so much. I was like, oh, what else have they done? Saw there was nothing else at the moment. I don't know if the next film's been released yet or if it's later this year, but it's called New Group and seems to be a 2025 film. I think it's round about the same runtime as well. And I'm hoping everyone keeps an eye out for that one. This is just like really, really good. Highly recommended to people. And as Tyler said, one of the better films as well that has the Shudder stamp on it for their distribution or for giving it exposure.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's you.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, awesome. This is produced by Takashi Shimizu, who, as you know, is the guy who did the Ju-on series and like a ton of other stuff. I think he was also behind the Tomy series, or at least a couple of the Tomy entries. Uh, I don't remember which ones though offhand. Anyway, and yeah, the director is definitely one to look out for. This actually came out in 2022, and it just didn't get a US release until earlier this year in July because it's Shudder, and God forbid they actually release something good in October. No, no, no. Why do that? Let's dump it in the middle of summer when people won't notice it. I, though, had heard about it for a while ago, so I've been waiting for it to come out in the States, and I've been holding on for it for October. I thought I'd come out guns blazing, swinging a big old bat of awesome, but y'all also swung big bats of awesome. Yeah, it's pretty fucking great. I really loved it. The cast is excellent. It's well shot. There's a good sense of tension throughout. It doesn't shy away from its themings or anything. I would ask if you guys had read it, but you obviously haven't, or you would have mentioned it. The work I would say it's closest to is The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas by Ursula K. Le Guin, but that's just me. It hits a lot of the same things. It does take a different approach to the same question that it asks. But if I said that title and that author and you went, ooh, you should 100% just go watch this now. The cast is excellent. It's well shot. The location is incredibly well used. There's always a tension throughout. The effects are decent. It never stops doing what it's doing, and I adored it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Again, I don't want to spoil it like these guys, because unlike the other movies, it's not 40 and 20 years old. It's 3 years old, and October is now. Or I mean, I guess when you guys hear it, October is 72 hours from now. So you should definitely prioritize this when you go into your October horror challenge run, because this is actually, don't prioritize this. Schedule this a week or two in when you know you're going to be like just overcome with crap and not understanding why you're watching this and doing this to yourself, because this is a highlight. A lot of times in October, we'll talk about the hidden gems that pop up. And this week, we've given you 3 fucking gems. But for me, this is a shining one that you should definitely go watch in the spooky season when you want to give something that will challenge you and make you think and feel and do what genre film does best. Ask the hard questions in a way that is still entertaining and open to exploring them in ways that you might not want to confront yourself. I loved this one. The cast is great. You should go watch it and keep an eye out for the director's other films. It actually, his next one comes out, I believe, towards the end of October. I've only seen an October date, not an exact day, and I'm not sure exactly how different Japan does film releases than we do. So if we're lucky, we won't have to wait 3 years for it to come over. It's really good. You should most definitely watch Best Wishes to All. It is time to pick one, and if you hadn't guessed, for me, it is definitely Best Wishes for All. To All.
This was a banger of a week. Are you going? You go ahead. You go first, Kevin.
Well, I was just going to get in ahead of you saying Bones, Tyler, and say I agree with Dave. Great week. Best Wishes to All will be my choice as well, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little selfish here because that's just me. But I liked all of these movies this week. Every single one of them were good. But I got to give the slight edge to Bones because it brings me joy. So yeah, Bones.
I mean, I honestly don't think you can go wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin would agree with that also.
Yeah,
I don't think you could go. Yeah,
that's true. I am just before this episode is out. Just you give me 1 minute, because I know we've been recommending people horror movies, but I've also Melanie is the 1982 film with Don Johnson in it, and the tagline says, "A young woman battles to regain custody of her son." I know people might listen to us and think, "What was that cheap, weepy film that Kevin saw on video?" Because his mum would pick up all the cheap, weepy films as well. So there you go.
you know what's
Sorry.
something I just remembered while we were talking? Do you know when I first saw The Entity? I just saw it on cable, like in the middle of the day in the 90s. I don't
In the
even think
middle of
that.
the day.
Yeah, they might have censored the one nudity shot, but like they didn't censor anything. It is because that's how I always remember it. It's the ghost assault movie, because that's what it is. But yeah, no, like I was a teenager and it was just middle of the day. I turned on I don't even remember what it was. Probably Sci-Fi Channel. I was home from school one day, and they were just like, "Here's the entity."
Hmm.
They cut the nipple shots, but everything else was in it, and it's one of those movies where it's always like, "Am I missing something? Why is this?" But no, they showed it all, except for like one or two little shots. But rock on. That's why I always
Wow.
think it's not R, but it is. Next week, it is another week of us helping Craig clear out his over purchases from Vinegar Syndrome. We'll be covering 4 films. We will be watching Female Perversions, Touch, and Who Killed Teddy Bear, and a 4th pick, which I don't have at hand because I forgot to ask Craig for it this week. So I'll let them know, the guys know, and the guys will let you guys know. And I guess it'll still fit October. They're all exploitations in some way. At least, well, maybe not Touch, but Touch will hurt me the most. So yay!
Yay.
Hey T,
Yes.
since you stole my win, how about you give him the bid?
We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment and watch Kevin's totally awesome videos. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
Yay. And T, you're always very kind to say, the YouTube channel and stuff. I just want to say, I don't suppose you guys have noticed, but it's been a few weeks since I've done a video. But I had mail last week. I was waiting for post, and my neighbours normally taking my post, and very kindly said to the postman, "We're going away for a few days. We can't take this in." So I rearranged redelivery of this post twice, and I eventually had to go to the depot, where they said, "Oh yeah, we see this is still due for delivery." And then they said to me while I'm at the depot, "Oh no, it's been delivered," and pointed to my neighbour's house on a map. And I was like, "No, it was scanned there," and then had to be sort of taken back on the van because the neighbours said, "We're going away for a few days, please take it back." I was like, "I've raised this twice now." So that's a really long-winded way to say, I'm sorry there's been no video for a few weeks. There would have been one earlier if Posties had done posty stuff.
Yeah, I pay attention. I noticed, but I was gonna, you got things to do. I was gonna hold it against you. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
See you.